While there have been so many card changes and some incredible math changes here in terms of HP and armor, the gameplay, the core underlying fundamentals of Paragon have actually changed quite a bit as well with version 40, making this an incredible patch. We're going to take a look at the general gameplay changes and then also just the other general UI stuff as well in this video. Hopefully, it's quite informative. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a patch note review video. I am Sylphin. We're taking a look at the general gameplay changes, and it's pretty significant. And shields have now changed so that armor can affect them by absorbing damage. So normally shields before armor didn't change it. It didn't mitigate incoming damage at all. But now it does. So in essence, guys, depending on on what kind of damage you're taking, what hero you're playing, what part of the match you're talking about, it's anywhere from at least an 8%, the lowest base armor that heroes start off with, all the way up to 30 some percent stronger. Straight up, just 8 to 30% stronger. That's what shields are. It's more likely going to be, you know, somewhere in between. But shields, much stronger now, and that's huge. That's huge for Muriel. Muriel's absolutely, I mean, she's my bae. She is going to be much stronger now. Feng Mao's shield, stuff like that. Shields are very much more stronger, and that's going to affect, you know, Honor the Pure, stuff like that. So very big buff to shields. We're gonna have to see exactly what that means. Does this make Muriel more meta? Does this help out Feng Mao? Absolutely. As also, you guys can go and check out my hero, my hero update videos for that. So the core has also changed. I think my gut has been saying this has been coming in for a while, and indeed it has been. The core encounter has been reworked to allow for a more consistent damage output and to encourage destroying multiple inhibitors before pushing to destroy the core. Trying to emphasize, give a reason to take down, you know, siege objectives and just make it more kind of a MOBA. So no longer splits damage between all targets in radius. So there's no reward for having more units inside the core. But it now deals 110 basic damage to all enemies in radius. Attack speed is reduced depending on how many inhibitors are destroyed. So, I mean, you're not incentivized to get a huge bunch of minions in the core to absorb all that damage. Not really. If you're kind of just trying to solo the core with like one minion in there, there's no difference between that and going in with a whole team with a whole bunch of minions. Not sure exactly what this does, but it certainly does do exactly what they want to do. More consistent damage output, and also to encourage destroying multiple inhibitors. Is the attack speed reduced a ton? We don't know. Is it, you know, absolutely, is it to the point where you just can't attack the core, period? Without more than, you know, one inhibitor down? We don't know. We're gonna have to see what that means. Hopefully it's enough to really incentivize you to take down the inhibitors, but also make it not impossible to take down the core with one. I can see this maybe prolonging game times, there's been a couple changes in here that's kind of like, ooh, this will really, you know, maybe increase game time. So be interesting to see how that works out. Jungle changes. We've updated melee jungle minion behavior so they are more difficult to kite and avoid their damage entirely. They will now more reliably hit players who are a short distance away from them. As a result of the change, we've adjusted the damage and reward levels for fighting jungle camps. So, reduce the white jungle minion damage per attack to 6 from 7. Increase the CP bounty to 85 from 73. That's huge. That's almost 20%. That is really, really huge. And increase the white jungle minion amber link to 35 from 30. I think perhaps what this is going to do, well, I'm not really all that sure, to be honest with you. It depends on how difficult they are to kite. They were pretty easy before. They were pretty easy to kite before. So maybe this will make them a little bit more high risk, high reward. You know, I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss for words at actually what this is going to be. The bounty has been increased. Maybe that has been because of junglers being a little bit behind, perhaps, but I haven't really been finding that. Maybe this does. I think what this is going to encourage is people taking camps when they're not at full stacks. Before, you kind of just ignore them until they were at full stack, and then you went in and easily cleared them. Now maybe you're gonna be incentivized to more frequently take out these camps that aren't reinforced to 5. Maybe that's what they want. They want the jungler to be in the jungle a little bit more, and maybe help out their team a little bit more. I do feel the Amber Link isn't necessarily all that important, so this emphasizing that. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of the jungle changes. Maybe going over my head, but maybe I'm kind of getting the gist of what they're trying to do. Gold buff, this has been a huge thing. They put out on Twitter. They're like, what do we do with the gold buff? What are your guys' suggestions? And they went to pretty simple things. It'll be a pretty simple things. It's just a river buff. It's a river buff that grants 300 CP when killed. That's basically it. So is it going to be as easy as a river buff to kill? Probably. Gold variant of the river buff. So it's going to be easy to kill. Grants 300 CXP every 2 minutes. So you might be thinking like, oh, well, that makes it kind of, you know, there's no point in getting it. It's just 300 CXP. Just get it, grab it, super easy, whatever. Well, but you also remember that works both ways. That means that the enemy offlaner, especially if it's Kalari, can just kind of straight up go invisible every 2 minutes, go and just steal the river buff because of that empowered basic attack. Just go in there, wait till the first enemy player hits the river buff, the gold river buff, and then just boom, takes it, steals it. So it's going to be much more contestable, while being maybe a little bit less powerful. I don't know. So it's going to definitely be interesting, because you're going to be able to steal it for sure much easier. Definitely able to steal it much easier. A Fang Mao reaping dash into a quick basic attack, like you'll be able to really quick take it, you know, take it out. If you're a howitzer and you kind of get over there, just use your missile, something like that. It's going to be easy to steal it much more often and more reliably. That I really like. I think that's what they went for. It's not necessarily a buff to the gold, but it's not necessarily a buff for the gold river buff, but it's more of a off-lane gold buff, if you know what I mean. Green buff increases damage reflect to 20 from 15, so a 1/3 increase in that damage to help with the jungle. I think this is meant to help in the jungle because they have reduced the damage to other players when you're using it to explode on ganks and stuff like that. They want to maybe incentivize its use for the jungle camps, which are, you know, a little bit harder to do. And I like it. I think I like it. Gold buff was, green buff was kind of a little bit kind of like, oh, green buff, dive a tower, they're dead. Kinda. So this I like. Reduce the explosion damage and reduce the explosion damage per hero level. So I like that. It's going to be much better to use in the jungle, especially because of the CP bounty being increased on those minions. Really like it. Raptor camp. Change respawn time to 5 minutes from 4 minutes. Helping, kind of evening the playing field so that people don't snowball too quick. Especially because they reduce the CP bounty to 650 from 800. You get the 10-minute Raptor camp, and then you get the and then you get a 14-minute. You're easily have an advantage to go and do Orb Prime. Super easy, just like that. Which, you know, maybe they're trying to cut that down, so now you can't get the second Raptor camp before Orb Prime spawns. Stuff like that. I think that's like, remember, they're tweaking this. They're finding the sweet spot as to so it's not overpowered, it's not underpowered. And or Prime, they've been playing with the duration for so long now. It was 150 when it was weak. Then they made it really strong, and it was at 150. So like, ooh, it's really strong, so I have to drop it to 120. So then but then they're like, it's really strong, and it's at 120. They reduced its effectiveness, and now they're like, now that it's reduced effectiveness by 120. We need to make it a little bit longer because they wanted it to be a siege objectives. So they're giving it an extra 30 seconds. I think I agree. 120 seconds because it's a weaker siege objective that helps you siege, I mean. Give it a little bit of extra time. I like that. I like that. I like that. They've been doing a really good job of tweaking everything here to kind of fit a particular purpose. And that's what it's all about. And now we're on to the general changes. Loot crates. They had added some emotes, masteries, skin variations. You guys can check into that if you guys want. So UI, they have done quite a bit. They're switching the alternate PS4 controller configuration for new players. I agree. The alternate, which is now the default, was much more intuitive because you had to take your you had to take your thumbs off of aiming and moving in order to do things. You can't. you can't that in any high level play you always have to be like you can't you just can't. So the alternate, you could use like all of your abilities were here or something like that. So it was just it made much more sense to me. I'm really glad that they're doing that. Community tab added to the home screen. Community tab just to feature the community. I really like that because yeah. Community pop-up added. I guess that's to kind of go along with that. Golden keys introduced. I think these are keys that work on multiple locks or something like that, or on multiple crates, something like that. So I'm very excited to see that, or they open chests. I don't know. Monthly megavolt added to the in-game home screen. So every month you can you know, unlock this megavolt and get some of these awesome things. So these are awesome stuff that are absolutely fantastic. So daily quests, they've changed those. There's now an animation when you receive new daily quests. That's nice. Fix a display issue that caused a daily quest to show more credit. It's actually been earned. That's good. All reticles will turn red when you are targeting a valid target, just to kind of help give you that indication that you are indeed going to hit your target. Just quality of life thing that really helps. This, as seen in the overview video for Phase, I actually really liked it. You can actually see it in action, and this is really nice. So the damage number pops have been adjusted, made numbers much smaller, and it's nice. It's nice. You can still see it, you can still read it, but it's not. It's really nice. It's really clean and clear. Physical damage moves to the right, or for you, I guess, like this. You go boo, and then energy damage moves to the left. So it's kind of like pew, whenever you do damage. Crits are slightly bigger and pop up more, just kind of a bigger, and no more scaling numbers on amount of damage. So makes it nice, clear, concise, looks really good. Minion health bar tweaks, I didn't notice this, but disabled scaling on minion health bar, fade out health bar background when not targeted. So it makes everything a little bit more clear. Adjustments to placement of health bar, recall, respawn, UI. I didn't notice this, but maybe it's just little slight adjustments, just trying to tweak everything, make it look all nice. If players were using the alternate control scheme, that's no default. We talked about that. Boost indicator on the front end no longer glows gold, even if no boosts are active. Adding bonus star event for when you start a higher tier than bronze for the star chest. Agora updated stealth river buff to trigger the same shadow plane visuals as Kalari's Shadow Walk and Necroveil cards. So you kind of slowly go into that, or Oh, okay. So the visual happens when you get it. Minor tweaks to Shadow Plane post processing to better fit with Monolith's updated visuals. So it'll look the same. And in Shadow Plane more so now than what Monolith's supposed to look like. Ward destruction visual effects improved so that they don't kind of just disappear. Minor visual polish and optimization on minion death effects, tower projectiles impacts. Tower projectile impacts now leave less residual plasma particles hanging around. Probably just a little bit too much, or kind of as hard on the system. Polish pass on minion jungle creature impact FX. Minions should no longer follow players into jungle when aggroed at spawn. Was featured in one of Aelit's videos. Really hilarious. AI bot difficulty tweaks. Normal bots, they've all been changed. Will run away when heard a bit sooner, which is good. Easy bots, they're making them easier, and intro bots super easy, stuff like that. Bots no longer attempt to recall while suffering a dot. Bit smart, go and stuff like that. So audio. There's something down there that really kind of affects things. Shadow Plane sound added for purple buff and Shadow Plane card. Nice. In the draft lobby, should now play the front end music selection correctly. Yay. That's good. So some additional hero changes. They've corrected various issues causing interrupted abilities to improperly go in cooldown when no effect was achieved. So that's very good to go along with this whole stun business that we've been talking about. Aurora's ice footprints should now appear. I think they solved the issue where she was stealth, but you could still see it, stuff like that. Feng Mao fixed for conversion shield, flashing effects. I don't think I noticed that. Not working for his attack buff, Reapy Dash. Little thing for Gadget once after she was canceling her ultimate. Little things. Increased volume of sounds during recall and added grunts. His recall is awesome, so that probably makes it cool. A big thing for a Howitzer, which a lot of people care about. Howitzer sounds has been updated. Primary shot is shorter. Primary explosion is shorter, and volume slightly reduced just because there's a little much. It was a little much. You sounded like a whole army when you were playing Howitzer, so that is huge. Kwong improved animation timing, more Gesh. A little issue where she was unable to activate curse on her marked target if she attempted to mark a new target, but failed because the hero is immune to spell effect. I think I actually had this happen to me once, and I was like, can I kill this person, please? But I wasn't able to, so there you go. Minor visual bug fix for Nobash's health regen aura, and Revenant. Fixed an issue where his hands went through his hat. Yeah, you kind of had this amazing emote, and then his hand went through it and kind of ruined the whole effect. Fixed reload getting stuck when interrupted by Aurora's ult. I hope they fix the issue where if you tried to back during the reload of his second or third attack or something like that, you would crash your client. I hope they fix that. Shinbi fixed an issue where her sword would move to different positions on her back when recalling. Twin Blast basic attack should now leave decals, and adjusted Yin's whip audio to be less overpowering because it was ridiculous how loud her whip was. So there are the general changes, guys. Some interesting UI and loot crate changes. But also these changes here really big. The shields, huge buff to shields. The core, I'm interested to see exactly how much this impacts everything. I mean, either this means nothing and just like no change really, or it's a lot. This damage is quite a bit, and the attack speed is significant enough that you have to just be like, you just can't kill the core without more than one inhibitor down. So be interesting to see that. The jungle changes. This is a big change. This is a big change. This is, like 17% increased Amber Link contribution to the rest of your team. So with that being the way it is, maybe that's much more of a buff to the jungle minions and the jungle role than maybe we think. I don't know, especially if you add on the gold buff with the, just being easy 300 CXP every 2 minutes, if it is exactly like river buff. maybe this does actually really help with CP gain. Really, really interesting. Green buff, definitely I would say it's more meant as a jungle buff, kind of. But, I mean, it's still going to do good damage. Still going to do good damage, but, you know. And the whole Raptor and Orb Prime. Raptors, make it a little bit less snowbally, and Orb Prime, bring it back in line now that it's a good siege objective. So there you guys go. Those are my thoughts on the general gameplay changes. It's going to be interesting to see exactly what this is. Are some of these changes big? Are they actually impactful to how Paragon plays right now? Or are they just kind of just a change in how things work and nothing really changes? Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about anything in this video. Please like the video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, share it with the community, and of course, guys, subscribe. If you guys like this content, found it useful, please subscribe so I can do it for you in the future. Till next time, like always, stay optimistic and positive.